I'd like to call this meeting of the House Tourism, Recreation, and Economic Development Committee to order. Dan, would you please take the roll?
Yes. Representative Daley?
Here.
Representative Bellman? Here. Representative Boyd?
Designation.
Representative Brennan? Representative Cepeda Freitas? Representative Serrato?
Designation.
Representative Powell?
Designation.
Representative Probst?
Designation.
Representative Prokopiak? Representative Rivera?
Designation.
Representative Rusnock? Representative Steele?
Designation.
Representative Takak?
Designation.
And Representative Young. Representative James? Present. Representative Armanini? Representative Banta? Representative Barger? Representative Cook? Representative Cooper? Representative Fleck? Representative Jones? Representative Pickett? Representative Smith? Representative Twardzik? Representative Wentling. A quorum is present.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan. I'd like to call up House Bill 1030, printers number 1105. And Josh, would you please explain the bill?
Good morning. House Bill 1030 designates the Hershey Kiss the official state candy of Pennsylvania.
All right. Representative Mahaffey, would you like to speak on your bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you for this opportunity. I think most of you saw me last year in the same position, and we are in the same place. So this is a sweet piece of legislation. I think I used that last year too, but it didn't seem to work. We did get it through the House. We stalled in the Senate, and here we are again. When we look at this and we look at the state emblems and we see what are out there, you know, it reflects on what the Commonwealth is. We have a very robust confectionery and candy making manufacturing community here in the state. It's very important. It's important not only to the district I get to represent with Hershey, but it's very important to all. But I'd like to go into this a little bit deeper because this happened to come to me through, and my co-primes on this are Representative Warren, Representative Marcel, and you may ask why they are from Bucks County doing the Hershey Kiss. Well, 6 young ladies, now that they're named the KISS Committee, came to me and asked me about doing this piece of legislation. This was a social study civics assignment that they had, and they came up with the Hershey Kiss. This was when they were in 8th grade. They are now seniors. So Cameron, Lana, Emily, Caitlin, Elaine, and Audrey are just adamant about doing this piece of legislation. Not only, and if you haven't met them, you need to meet them because they are learning an exercise in what government is all about and how hard it is to really pass a bill. They came up with a nice flyer, which most of you probably have received, that was designed by them. They are learning the true meaning of government and how civics enacts and what it does and how to get a bill passed. So I sit in front of you today to ask for your support on this bill. It would mean a lot not only to them, but it also means a lot to the Hershey Company and how we are moving forward with things that we heard last year. We said, you know, what happens if the Hershey Company moves? Well, we put that in the bill this year. If the Hershey Company moves, this is no longer the state candy. If they move out of Pennsylvania, sorry. But on top of that, what this candy really does, and I had the opportunity to go to the newest Reese plant that was just built and see the magnificent investment that Hershey made again in Pennsylvania. And I think that's something to say that they're strong, they're a Pennsylvania company, and they want to do this. But these proceeds go to help disadvantaged children. And Milton Hershey had a vision, him and Catherine, and they took it to a level that I don't think anybody could ever imagine. And now we have probably over 2,000 young men and women that have an opportunity to go to the Milton Hershey School to succeed, to make sure that they are getting a step in life that they wouldn't have had if they were not put in the position of attending that school. But now we have the Catherine Hershey School, which is for early childhood education. So people who don't have the opportunity to go to early childhood education now are getting that opportunity with 6 new schools located strategically around the state. I think it's something important to note, and it's the only candy that facilitates and supports those children. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Representative. So the question is, will the committee report the bill? And on that question, the chair recognizes Chair James.
There. Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate your comments today as well as last session, and I'm very glad that the final paragraph of the bill does have the effect of keeping Hershey's, I guess, legal address in Pennsylvania. I suppose they could put the manufacturing anywhere on the globe they felt like, but that may answer, or that may resolve a few of the other people's problems from last year. So I don't have any questions for you, but I will say that I intend to vote yes on your bill. Thank you.
Representative Young.
Well, I do have one question. Are there talks around the company moving out of PA, or they're just doing hypotheticals?
No, that's just a hypothetical. That was, over the years, there's been talk about, acquiring, they are a publicly held company. Of course, the school owns the majority of that stock. There has been over the years the possibility of that going on, and we heard that from members last year that were concerned about that, and that's why we addressed it in this bill. But no, there is no intention of moving the company, and that's why I brought up they just invested a major, major investment in Hershey by building the new Reese's plant.
All right, thank you. And the last comment I will make is I think one of the reasons why, outside of my personal love for Hershey, I will just say you brought up the thought and the concept came from children, students who were really working on civics project. And those of us who are in this elected space, we really should listen to the voices of our constituents. But when they come from the school age population, it's really raising leaders to better understand how their passion and their thoughts can really lead to something more tangible. And so I'll happily support this piece of legislation. And I want to also say, whenever anybody gets opportunity to talk to the young ladies, let them know to continue with that passion because it leads places. And that's the message we need to be sharing with all the young people. So thank you.
They didn't give up, right? They could have just said, oh, we'll introduce the bill and that's it. But here they are, they're seniors. And that's one thing, they have drive and they are a great group of young ladies. And hopefully they are going to be the future. Maybe one of them will be sitting here, amongst us one day. I think it's great. I think it was just something I couldn't ignore. And I think these young ladies deserve a big round of applause in that regard. So hopefully we'll get to see them here, and hopefully I'll get them to come in and see you.
Thank you. Representative Flick.
Thank you, Chair Lady. Rep Young just took the words out of my mouth, actually. I had the opportunity to meet with these 6 young ladies last year and maybe even the year before. So exactly, I just want to echo her thoughts when you meet with them and see that the struggles, right? It seemed pretty simple at first, like, hey, it's Hershey Kiss. Well, how can we go wrong? So I would say, Representative Mahaffey, not only yourself, but these 6 young ladies have sort of taught me how things are not simple here. So thank you for your passion in pursuing this.
Thank you. And I'm just going to say that I'm really pleased to be able to have a voting meeting on this bill again this year, and hopefully we can move it over to the Senate. And I know it still has to go through the House, it's only the first step for it, but, and I agree with everyone who talked about the students who came up with this idea. I have met them. They're very impressive. They're very passionate about the issue, and they have perseverance. And I think that those are characteristics that are important as you move forward in life. So I'm hoping that we can help them out with one of the steps of getting legislation done. Let's see. So with no further discussion, I'm going to call the roll for House Bill 1030. Those in favor of reporting the bill as committed will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Dan, please call the roll.
Representative Daley,
Yes.
Representative Bellman, Representative Boyd, designation, my bad. Representative Brennan, Representative Saprita Freites, Representative Serrato,
Yes.
yes. Representative Powell,
Yes.
Representative Probst,
Yes.
Representative Prokopiak, Representative Rivera,
Yes.
Representative Rusnak, Representative Steele,
Yes.
Representative Tikak,
Yes.
and Representative Young. Representative James, Representative Armanini, Representative Banta, Representative Barger,
Designation, yes.
Representative Cook, Representative Cook, Representative Cooper, Representative Flake, Representative Jones,
Designation, yes.
Representative Pickett, Representative Smith, Representative Twardzik,
Designation, yes.
and Representative Wentling.
Designation, yes.
So the bill will be reported as the vote was unanimous. Thank you, and congratulations on getting through this first step. Right. So I'd like to call up House Resolution 161, printers number 1217. And Josh, would you please explain the resolution?
House Resolution 161 designates May 2025 as Haitian Heritage Month in Pennsylvania.
Representative Peter Freites, would you like to speak on your bill or your
Sure.
resolution?
Yes, thank you, Chairwoman. And in my district, there's a growing Haitian community. So how we greet each other is we say sac passe, and you say naboule. So sac passe, colleagues. Thank you. And so this resolution designates May 2025 as Haitian Heritage Month. It's a time to celebrate the vibrant culture, the art, the delectable cuisine, and traditions of Haiti and its people. The Haitian Heritage Month celebration is also an expansion of the Haitian Flag Day observed every year on May 18th. And the flag is a symbol of patriotism and nationalism and was a beacon of hope in Haiti during the colonial era. This day represents liberation and embodies the cultural heritage and resilience of the Haitian people as they reclaim their land from the hand of oppressors. I want to add that Haiti is the third largest country in the Caribbean and the first Black republic in the world and the first nation to permanently ban slavery. I encourage and urge my colleagues for a yes vote, and let's continue embracing the diversity that makes our beautiful state of Pennsylvania and continue celebrating all the people that contribute day in and day out to the vibrancy of our communities and our economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. So the question is, will the committee report the resolution? And on that question, do we have any raised hands? No. So, Chair James, would you like to speak on the resolution? Okay. With no, and I just appreciate the representatives bringing this forward and educating us on the Haitian Heritage Month. So with no further discussion, I'm going to call the roll for House Resolution 161. Those in favor of reporting the bill as committed will vote aye. Those opposed, no. And Dan, will you please call the roll?
Representative Daly,
Aye.
Representative Bellman, Representative Boyd,
Designation
Rep-
aye.
Representative Brennan, Representative Cepeda Freitas,
We.
Representative Serrato, Representative Powell,
Designation aye.
Representative Probst,
Designation aye.
Representative Prokopiak, Representative Rivera,
Designation aye.
Representative Rusnak, Representative Steele,
Designation aye.
Representative Takak,
Designation aye.
and Representative Young. Representative James,
No.
Representative Armanini, Representative Banta, Representative Barger,
Designation no.
Representative Cook, Representative Cooper, Representative Flick, Representative Jones,
Designation yes.
Representative Pickett, Representative Smith,
Designation no.
Representative Twardzik, and Representative Wentling.
Designation yes.
On the question, the ayes are 18 and the nays are 8. So the resolution passes. Congratulations, Representative Peter Freitas, and thank you for bringing it forward. All right. I'd like to call up House Resolution 172, printers number 1244. And Josh, will you please explain the resolution?
Yes, House Resolution 172 recognizes the month of May 2025 as Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in Pennsylvania.
All right, Representative Khan is not here to speak on his resolution, so the question is, will the committee report the resolution? And on that question, does anyone have any comments or questions? I do not see any hands raised. So, Chair James, would you like to speak on this resolution?
Not really speak or ask questions, but I will be yes on this resolution.
Thank you. With no further discussion, I'm going to call the roll for House Resolution 172. Those in favor of reporting the bill as committed will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Dan, please call the roll.
Representative Daly,
Yes, or aye.
Representative Bellman, Representative Boyd,
Designation aye.
Representative Brennan, Representative Cepeda Freitas, Representative Serrato, Representative Powell,
Designation aye.
Representative Probst,
Designation aye.
Representative Prokopiak, Representative Rivera,
Designation aye.
Representative Rusnak, Representative Steele,
Designation aye.
Representative Takak,
Designation aye.
and Representative Young.
Designation aye.
Representative James,
Yes.
Representative Armanini, Representative Banta, Representative Barger,
Designation no.
Representative Cook, Representative Cooper, Representative Flick, Representative Jones,
Designation yes.
Representative Pickett, Representative Smith,
Designation yes.
Representative Twardzik, and Representative Wentling.
Designation yes.
On the question, the ayes are 25 and the nays are 1. The resolution will be reported as committed. We'll move on to the next. I'd like to call up House Resolution 175, printers number 1247. Josh, please explain the resolution.
House Resolution 175 designates May 20th, 2025 as Jimmy Stewart Day in Pennsylvania.
I don't see Representative Struzzi. Is he here? Okay, so the question is, will the committee report the resolution? And does anyone have any comments or questions? All right. Chair James, would you have any comments or questions that you'd like to make?
No comment at this time. Thank you.
All right. With no further discussion, I'm going to call the roll for House Resolution 175. Those in favor of reporting the bill as committed will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Dan, please call the roll.
Representative Daley,
Aye.
Representative Bellman, Representative Boyd,
Designation aye.
Representative Brennan, Representative Cepeda Freitas, Representative Serrato, Representative Powell,
Designation aye.
Representative Probst,
Designation aye.
Representative Prokopiak, Representative Rivera,
Designation aye.
Representative Rusnak, Representative Steele,
Designation aye.
Representative Takak,
Designation aye.
and Representative Young.
Designation aye.
Representative James,
Yes?
Representative Armanini, Representative Banta, Representative Barger,
Designation no.
Representative Cook, Representative Cooper, Representative Flick, Representative Jones,
Designation yes.
Representative Pickett, Representative Smith,
Designation yes.
Representative Twardzik, and Representative Welling.
Just can't help yourself, can you? Wentling designation yes.
On the question, the ayes are 25 and the nays are 1. The resolution will be reported as committed, and we will move on. I'd like to call up House Resolution 178, printers number 1264. Josh, please explain the resolution.
House Resolution 178 recognizes the month of May 2025 as National Water Safety Month in Pennsylvania.
I do not see Representative Mahalik, so the question is, will the committee report the resolution? On that question, the chair recognizes anyone who has their hand up. Don't see any hands up. So, Chair James, do you have any comments or questions?
You know, I do not.
Okay.
Chair?
With no further discussion, I'm going to call the roll for House Resolution 178. Those in favor of reporting the bill as committed will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Dan, please call the roll.
Representative Daley,
Aye.
Representative Bellman, Representative Boyd,
Designation aye.
Representative Brennan, Representative Cepeda Freitas, Representative Serrato, Representative Powell,
Designation yes.
Representative Probst,
Designation aye.
Representative Prokopiak, Representative Rivera,
Designation aye.
Representative Rusnak, Representative Steele,
Designation aye.
Representative Takak,
Designation aye.
and Representative Young.
Designation aye.
Representative James,
Yes.
Representative Armanini, Representative Banta, Representative Barger,
Designation no.
Representative Cook, Representative Cooper, Representative Flick, Representative Jones,
Designation yes.
Representative Pickett, Representative Smith,
Designation yes.
Representative Twardzik, and Representative Wentling.
Designation yes.
On the question, the ayes are 25 and the nays are 1. The resolution will be reported as committed. And we move on. I'd like to call up House Resolution 197, printers number 1380. Josh, please explain the resolution.
House Resolution 197 honors members of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority and celebrates May 5th, 2025 as Delta Day at the state capitol.
Rep. Powell is not present, so the question is, will the committee report the resolution? And on that question, does anyone have any comments, questions? I do not see any raised hands. So I will ask if Chair James has anything he wants to say.
At this time.
Fine, thank you. With no further discussion, I'm going to call the roll for House Resolution 197. Those in favor of reporting the bill as committed will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Dan, please call the roll.
Representative Daley,
Aye.
Representative Bellman, Representative Boyd,
Designation aye.
Representative Brennan,
Designation aye.
Representative Cepeda Freitas, Representative Serrato, Representative Powell,
Designation aye.
Representative Probst,
Designation aye.
Representative Prokopiak, Representative Rivera,
Yes.
Representative Rusnak, Representative Steele,
Designation aye.
Representative Takak,
Designation aye.
and Representative Young.
Designation aye.
Representative James,
Yes.
Representative Armanini, Representative Banta, Representative Barger,
Designation, no.
Representative Cook, Representative Cooper,
Designation, yes.
Representative Flick,
Designation, yes.
Representative Jones,
Designation, yes.
Representative Pickett, Representative Smith,
Designation, yes.
Representative Twardzik, and Representative Wentling.
Designation, yes.
Okay. On the question, the ayes are 25 and the nays are 1. And the resolution will be reported as committed, and we will move on to our final piece of legislation. I'd like to call up House Resolution 204, printers number 1459. Josh, please explain the resolution.
House Resolution 204 designates April 8th, 2025 as Dominican Remembrance Day in Pennsylvania in honor of the victims who perished in the Jet Set nightclub located in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic.
Thank you. Representative, oh,
Thank you, Chairwoman, and thank you for considering this resolution. So unfortunately, on April 8th, there was a tragedy in the Dominican Republic, and it's marked as one of the deadliest non-natural disasters in Dominican Republic's history, where over 200 lives were lost. We had some survivors, some people escaped from the rubbish. Unfortunately, at this Jet Set club, the roof collapsed and took a lot of loved ones, among them an iconic merenguero named Ruby Perez. And this piece of legislation is just to stand in solidarity with a lot of our Dominican community members, because we have quite a lot here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I have a huge amount of Dominicans, and I'm also Dominican descent. And so the community's in mourning. We kind of like wanted to stand in solidarity, offer prayers to all those victims and survivors. These are sad times for the Dominican Republic and its residents and our constituents. And so we've had vigils throughout various parts of the Commonwealth, and I kind of wanted to just honor those victims and those lives and stand with our Dominican community. So thank you.
thank you, Representative. So on the question, the chair, oh, no, I'm sorry, I skipped a line. The question is, will the committee report the resolution? On that question, the chair recognizes, anyone have any questions? Chair James?
Thank you, Madam Chair. After due consideration and the fact that this is very late filed, sort of last minute, I intend to be a no on this one. Other than geographic location, I fail to distinguish any real connection with this, and there are disasters around this planet every day, somewhere. So that's the reason I'm a no.
Right, with no further discussion, I'm going to call the roll for House Resolution 204. Those in favor of reporting the bill as committed will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Dan, please call the roll.
Representative Daley,
Aye.
Representative Bellman, Representative Boyd,
Designation aye.
Representative Brennan,
Designation aye.
Representative Cepeda Freitas,
C.
Representative Serrato, Representative Powell, Representative Probst, Representative Prokopiak, Representative Rivera,
C.
Representative Rusnak, Representative Steele,
Designation I.
Representative Takak,
Designation I.
Representative Young,
Designation I.
Representative James,
No.
Representative Armanini, Representative Banta, Representative Barger,
Designation, no.
Representative Cook, Representative Cooper,
Designation, no.
Representative Flick,
Designation, no.
Representative Jones,
Designation, no. Oh, yes, sorry. Designation, yes.
Representative Pickett, Representative Smith,
Designation, no.
Representative Twardzik, and Representative Wentling.
Designation, yes.
On the question, the ayes are 16 and the nays are 10. The resolution will be reported as committed. I want to also, just for the record, let you know that Representative Serrato, Representative Powell, Representative Probst, and Representative Rivera all joined the meeting and were able to vote in person. And you may have noticed that the way that things were done at this meeting are slightly different. We don't have seconds any longer because the parliamentarian actually advised us that we don't really need seconds on them. So it's a slightly different way of running the meeting. And I appreciate all of you being here, and I appreciate the latecomers coming even though they weren't here at the beginning. So let's see. Meeting is adjourned.